When you set aside a specific gym hour, you are not just scheduling a workout. You are creating a sacred contract with yourself, a promise that you will show up no matter what distractions or excuses may try to pull you away. That hour is your declaration that discipline matters more than temporary comfort, that your health and strength deserve priority in your life. It is in this consistency of showing up day after day, even when you are tired, busy, or uninspired, that transformation begins to take root. The body responds to patterns, and when you build the unshakable pattern of honoring your gym hour, your results follow naturally. Your gym hour becomes a marker of identity. It's no longer about whether you feel like training or not. It's about who you are becoming through the act of training. You are shaping the person who doesn't need to negotiate with excuses because the decision is already made. The hour is non-negotiable. Every day you show up, you are strengthening the muscle of discipline, a muscle more powerful than any muscle you lift in the gym. This habit of keeping your appointment with yourself slowly hardens your character into someone unbreakable. The gym hour is also a reminder that greatness is built in ordinary, repetitive actions. It is not about grand events or once-in-a-lifetime moments, but about small, daily investments. That 1 hour each day, consistently guarded and protected, is where the extraordinary is formed. People who give in to comfort or postpone their training because they think 1 hour doesn't matter are missing the truth. It's the very act of showing up when no one is watching that separates those who achieve from those who fall short. When you commit to your gym hour, you are also training your mind to respect time. You are no longer casual with your minutes, because you know every minute counts. Your hour is carved out as sacred ground, free from interruptions, a place where nothing and no one can take away the progress you've committed to. In this way, your gym hour becomes more than just training. It becomes a discipline of valuing time, sharpening focus, and aligning your life around what matters most. Over time, this commitment changes not only your body, but also the way you carry yourself in every area of life. The discipline you develop in the gym bleeds into your work, your studies, your responsibilities, and your ambitions. Because if you can master 1 hour every single day, then you can master anything. That consistency builds belief in yourself. Belief that you can commit and follow through. Belief that you can resist the pull of comfort and embrace the grind. When you guard your gym hour, you are also pushing back against the easy path that the world constantly offers. While others waste time in distractions or excuses, you are investing in your strength. That daily investment compounds like interest, quietly accumulating into visible transformation. You may not notice it on day 1, but 100 gym hours later, your reflection in the mirror and the energy in your body tell the story of someone who refused to quit. That hour is also your therapy, your reset button. It is where the stress of the day burns away under the weight of the barbell, where the frustrations of life are released with every rep and every drop of sweat. It is not just about muscles. It is about mental clarity, about reminding yourself that you are in control of how you respond to life. The gym hour doesn't just build strength. It builds peace, resilience, and focus. Your gym hour is a test, and every day you pass that test, you strengthen your resolve. When the alarm rings, when fatigue whispers in your ear, when comfort tries to lure you back into bed, the decision to keep your appointment with the gym is a victory over weakness. Each day that you conquer that battle, you add another layer of armor to your willpower, until discipline becomes your second nature. This consistency also silences doubt. When people question whether you can transform, when your own mind doubts your ability to go the distance, the simple fact that you have kept your gym hour day after day becomes undeniable evidence. Your effort speaks louder than any words. Your routine silences critics because your discipline leaves no space for argument. And as the weeks turn into months, your gym hour becomes the cornerstone of your identity. You are no longer someone who tries. You are someone who does. You are not waiting for motivation or inspiration. You are building yourself brick by brick, session by session, hour by hour. The gym hour becomes proof that with severe grind, with relentless focus, and with unwavering consistency, you can build the body, the strength, and the life you want. When you step into the gym, the first thing that demands your attention is intensity. Without intensity, movements become empty gestures, repetitions become meaningless, and the session becomes nothing more than going through the motions. Intensity is the spark that transforms each rep into progress, the driving force that turns a set into a test of will. It is not about simply lifting a weight, but about how you attack it with focus, with power, and with an unrelenting desire to give everything you have in that moment. Intensity is the difference between average results and extraordinary transformation. Intensity forces the body to adapt in ways comfort never will. When you push beyond your comfort zone, when you feel the burn in your muscles and keep going, that is when growth is triggered. The body is designed to resist change unless it is forced, and intensity is the force that demands adaptation. Each time you push harder, lift heavier, or move with more focus, you create a new standard for your body. That is how strength grows, not by staying in the safe zone, but by continuously pressing into discomfort with controlled aggression. Your intensity is also a reflection of your mindset. It shows whether you came into the gym with purpose or with excuses. If your mind is weak, your training will be weak. But when your mind is sharp, when you step in ready to pour yourself into the grind, your intensity becomes unstoppable. This is why training is more mental than physical. The body will always follow where the mind dares to lead. If your mind commits to severe grind, your intensity in the gym will prove it every single time. Intensity also teaches discipline because it requires you to stay locked in with complete focus. The gym is full of distractions, phones, conversations, wandering thoughts, but intensity leaves no space for them. When you are locked in on the barbell, when you are tuned into every fiber of your body, your session becomes sharper, shorter, and more powerful. This discipline of focus not only amplifies your training, but also builds a mental toughness that extends far beyond the gym. Every drop of sweat shed during intense training is evidence of commitment. Those who take it easy will walk out the same way they walked in, but those who grind with intensity will carry out proof of their work on their shirts, in their lungs, and in their muscles. Sweat is the language of intensity, a visible sign that you poured everything into the session. It is not a mark of weakness. It is the stamp of effort that only those who grind with full intensity will understand. Intensity also builds endurance. It forces your body to adapt not only in strength, but also in stamina. When you push to finish a set even when your muscles scream for rest, you are expanding your limits. That endurance will serve you not just in the gym but in life, because the same principle applies. When life becomes heavy, when challenges test you, only those trained in intensity will have the capacity to endure and push forward. Intensity separates those who talk from those who act. Many people talk about wanting results, about wanting strength, about wanting transformation, but when the time comes to grind, only a few truly embrace intensity. That separation is where winners are born, because winners don't simply show up, they attack every session with fire. They don't just want results, they demand them through severe grind and relentless intensity. Your intensity also dictates your pace of progress. You can train for years with half effort and see little change, or you can train with full intensity and see months turn into transformation. The difference is not the time you spend, but the effort you bring. Time in the gym does not equal results. Intensity in the gym equals results. Every minute spent under pressure, every second pushing against your limits, accelerates your progress in ways that lazy effort never could. Intensity is also contagious. When you train with fire, the people around you feel it. Your energy fills the room, your work ethic sets the tone, and your grind becomes an example for others. You become the one others watch, not because you talk about greatness, but because your intensity proves it without words. In this way, your grind doesn't just transform you. It elevates the environment, pushing others to rise with you. And finally, intensity is the bridge between potential and reality. Everyone walks into the gym with potential, but only those who bring severe grind and relentless intensity turn that potential into results. It is not about what you could do, it is about what you actually do when the weights are heavy, when the fatigue is real, and when the choice to quit whispers in your ear. Intensity shuts that voice down and forces you to dig deeper, to push harder, to rise higher. When you step into the gym, you step into an arena where every lift, every rep, and every drop of sweat becomes a test of how much you are willing to push beyond your own limits. The weight on the bar is not just iron, it is the measure of your strength, discipline, and patience. With every repetition, your muscles resist and your mind whispers to stop. But it is in those exact moments that true growth begins. The body grows under pressure, but the real transformation is in the ability to keep going when everything inside you screams to quit. The severe grind is not glamorous, it is not easy, and it is not meant to be. It strips away comfort and forces you to discover who you really are. You cannot fake effort when you are under the bar, because the bar never lies. It reflects exactly how much work you have put in and how much more you are capable of doing. It teaches you to respect consistency, to value discipline, and to embrace the pain that others run from. Each session in the gym is a battle between the part of you that wants rest and the part of you that demands progress. The grind sharpens your focus, it conditions your mind, and it forces you to understand that real strength is not only in your muscles, but in your patience and persistence. This process is not about instant results. It is about teaching yourself the art of showing up, day after day, regardless of how you feel. When the set feels unbearable, that is when you unlock the potential hidden within. The body can endure much more than the mind first believes, and pushing through that wall is where the transformation lies. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens when you challenge yourself to face the pain and keep moving forward anyway. Every drop of sweat and every rep beyond the limit becomes a brick in the foundation of your future strength. The grind also teaches humility, because no matter how strong you become, the iron always humbles you. It keeps you grounded, reminding you that progress is earned, never given. The process demands respect, and if you approach it with discipline and consistency, it will reward you with results that are undeniable. It is easy to lift when the body feels fresh, but the grind shows its true face when you are tired, sore, and mentally drained. This is when the test is real, when you must decide if you will stop or if you will go one more round. Choosing to push through in those moments not only builds physical power, but creates unshakable mental toughness that carries into every part of life. The grind is not just physical, it is a reshaping of the mind. It silences the excuses and trains you to replace them with effort. The more you embrace the grind, the more you learn that pain is not the enemy, but the signal that you are pushing beyond your old limits. You stop fearing struggle and start respecting it as the gateway to greatness. In the process, you begin to respect time differently. You learn that consistency compounds, and that small efforts stacked daily turn into massive results over time. The grind rewires you to stop looking for shortcuts and to start embracing the long road, because you know the long road is the only road that delivers lasting success. Every grind session is proof that progress is earned, not handed out. It makes you hungrier, sharper, and more relentless. Over time, the grind transforms into a habit, and what once felt impossible becomes your new standard. The severe grind is what separates those who wish from those who work. It teaches you that anyone can dream, but only the disciplined can achieve. It forges not just a stronger body, but a stronger character, preparing you for challenges beyond the gym. Through the grind, you don't just train your muscles, you train your mind to endure, to rise, and to conquer. Discipline in the gym is the invisible force that determines whether you move closer to your goals or stay stuck where you are. It is not about what you feel like doing, it is about doing what needs to be done, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. When the alarm rings early in the morning or after a long, exhausting day, discipline is what pulls you into your workout gear and gets you to the gym floor. Without it, progress becomes inconsistent, and inconsistency destroys momentum. With discipline, you create a routine so strong that it becomes a part of who you are. Every athlete, every strong lifter, every body transformed by sweat and effort is built on the foundation of discipline. Muscles do not grow from wishful thinking, endurance is not built from excuses, and strength is not earned from laziness. Discipline is the glue that binds your vision to your actions. It is the habit of choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, the ability to say no to comfort and yes to the grind that moves you forward. The gym is the perfect teacher of discipline because it does not reward talk. It rewards effort. If you show up half-heartedly, the results will reflect it. But if you show up consistently, putting in the work rep after rep, day after day, you will witness the transformation unfold. The scale, the mirror, and the strength you feel in your lifts will all testify to the fact that discipline pays back far more than it takes. Discipline is not something you practice once in a while. It is something you practice daily. It is in the decision to stick to your meal plan when cravings pull you in the wrong direction. It is in the choice to complete every set with intensity, even when your body begs you to stop early. It is in the patience to wait for results while continuing to do the work with full faith that your effort will not go in vain. The grind demands sacrifice, and discipline is what allows you to embrace that sacrifice without resentment. You may have to skip outings, say no to unhealthy habits, or structure your time in ways that others do not understand. But those sacrifices are the very fuel that powers your journey towards strength and transformation. Each sacrifice builds resilience, and resilience builds results. Discipline sharpens focus. It removes distractions and trains you to fix your eyes on the path ahead. In a world full of noise, temptations, and shortcuts, discipline keeps you aligned with your vision. It keeps you from wandering off into unproductive patterns and pulls you back every time your mind drifts. Without it, you risk being tossed around by your emotions. With it, you control your direction and pace. The power of discipline is that it compounds over time. One disciplined workout may not change your life, but one disciplined workout repeated hundreds of times will. It is the small daily commitments, the ordinary actions, and the repetitive grind that lead to extraordinary results. Discipline is proof that success is never a single moment, but the accumulation of countless disciplined moments stacked together. Discipline teaches patience. In the gym, nothing comes instantly. You cannot rush strength, you cannot hurry endurance, and you cannot force growth. Discipline allows you to trust the process, to keep showing up, to keep lifting, and to keep sweating while results silently build behind the scenes. Then one day, the reflection in the mirror surprises you, and the barbell feels lighter, and you realize that discipline has been paying you back all along. Discipline also builds character. It strengthens not only your body but also your will. When you choose discipline in the gym, it spills into every other part of your life. It teaches you to handle challenges, to face responsibilities with courage, and to keep pushing forward in all aspects of life. The lessons of discipline under the bar extend far beyond the gym walls. Ultimately, discipline in the severe grind is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from the chains of inconsistency, from the frustration of starting over again and again, and from the disappointment of falling short of your potential. It allows you to create progress you can rely on, results you can be proud of, and a strength that carries you through every challenge. Discipline is not just part of the grind, it is the heartbeat of the grind. Strength is not only built by the weight you lift, but also by the mindset you carry into every set and every rep. In the gym, your body can only push as far as your mind is willing to go. When fatigue sets in, it is not your muscles that quit first, it is your thoughts. The ones who rise above that barrier are those who learn to silence doubt and command their minds to keep moving forward. This mental toughness becomes the true foundation of physical power, because without it, no amount of muscle can carry you to the next level. Every time you face a heavy barbell, your mind begins its battle. It tells you the weight is too much, the pain is too sharp, the grind is too severe. But when you refuse to listen, when you take a breath, tighten your grip, and push through anyway, you train more than your body, you train your will. And that willpower is what separates those who make temporary progress from those who build lasting transformation. The gym is a battlefield for the mind as much as it is for the body. Each rep is a test of patience, endurance, and resilience. You might feel the burning in your muscles, but it is the voice in your head that screams the loudest. trying to pull you back into comfort. Conquering that voice is the real workout, and each time you silence it, you step closer to becoming unshakable. Mental strength is what keeps you disciplined when motivation fades. Motivation is temporary, it rises and falls like a wave. But mental resilience is steady. It keeps you moving forward even on the days you feel nothing. It is the quiet decision to show up, to lift, to sweat, and to suffer because you know that the reward is built in the grind itself. Without mental strength, even the strongest body crumbles under inconsistency. The ability to endure pain is part of developing that strength. Growth never comes without discomfort, the sore muscles, the pounding heart, the sweat dripping from your face. These are signals not of weakness, but of growth. They remind you that progress always comes with a cost, and those who pay it with a steady mind are the ones who rise above average. Pain is temporary, but the mindset built through pain becomes permanent. Every athlete, every lifter, every warrior in the gym knows that there comes a moment when the body wants to stop, but the mind decides otherwise. That moment defines everything. It separates the casual lifter from the relentless grinder. When you force yourself to push one more rep, one more set, one more mile after your body has given up, you break barriers you didn't even know existed. That is where true transformation begins. Mental strength is also about patience. Too many people quit because they want instant results. They want strength today, definition tomorrow, and transformation next week. But the severe grind doesn't work that way. It demands patience, it demands trust in the process, and it demands that you keep giving your best without constantly asking when the reward will arrive. The mind that stays patient becomes the body that wins. In the gym, distractions surround you. Your phone, your comfort, your doubts, and sometimes even other people's opinions. Mental toughness is the shield that protects you from all of it. It keeps your focus locked on the barbell, the weights, the grind. It reminds you why you started and refuses to let you walk away unfinished. With a sharp mind, no distraction can rob you of progress. Resilience of the mind is what allows you to rise again after setbacks. Injury, failure, fatigue. They are part of the journey. Many people let these things break them, but those who strengthen their mind treat setbacks as lessons, not endings. They return stronger, wiser, and hungrier because their will cannot be shaken by temporary obstacles. That resilience carries them further than raw strength ever could. In the severe grind, your body may show the results, but it is your mind that carries you there. Every rep, every set, every drop of sweat is first won in the battlefield of thought. If you master your mind, your body has no choice but to follow. That is why mental strength is not an option in fitness. It is the core of everything you build, the unshakable foundation that makes all progress possible. Discipline is the silent force that builds greatness in the gym. It is not flashy, it does not make noise, and it does not demand attention, but it quietly separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Discipline is showing up on the days you do not feel like lifting, when your body is tired, your mind is heavy, and excuses are tempting you to stay comfortable. It is the ability to silence the excuses and move forward with action, no matter how small or large the step may be. Every person can feel motivated at the start of their journey, but only those who are disciplined can continue when motivation fades. Motivation is like a spark. It ignites quickly but dies just as fast if there is no fuel. Discipline is the steady firewood that keeps the flame burning day after day. It is not about emotion, it is about commitment. You do not train because you feel like it. You train because it is required. That mindset shifts you from average effort into consistent progress. Discipline shows itself in the smallest details. It is the way you control your rest between sets, the way you complete your last rep with the same intensity as your first, and the way you track your progress instead of lifting carelessly. It is not only about showing up, but also about how you perform once you are there. Every small act of discipline compounds over time, carving results that cannot be denied. The severe grind thrives on discipline because the grind has no mercy. If you take shortcuts, the grind exposes you. If you skip days, the grind delays you. If you lack structure, the grind defeats you. Discipline is the shield that protects you from your own weaknesses. It ensures that no matter how rough the journey becomes, you are still moving forward, still stacking progress brick by brick. One of the hardest parts of discipline is resisting instant gratification. Your mind and body crave comfort, easy choices, and quick rewards. But discipline forces you to delay gratification, to endure temporary pain for long-term strength. Every time you deny the comfort of stopping early, every time you push through the last set when quitting would feel easier, you train yourself to value growth over ease. That mindset is what turns discipline into power. Discipline is also about routine. The greatest lifters and athletes build habits so strong that training becomes a natural part of their lives, not a question or a debate. They don't ask themselves whether they feel like training, they simply do it. Routine removes hesitation, and hesitation is the enemy of progress. When discipline builds your routine, the gym becomes a non-negotiable part of your day. Without discipline, even the strongest willpower will eventually crumble. You can feel inspired for a week, or maybe even a month. But when life gets heavy, inspiration alone is not enough. Discipline is what locks you in place, keeping you consistent even when circumstances try to shake you. It is the anchor that prevents you from drifting off course, no matter how strong the storm may be. Discipline in the gym also reflects discipline in life. The way you treat your training spills into the way you handle responsibilities, challenges, and goals outside of fitness. If you can discipline yourself to show up, push hard, and remain consistent in the face of difficulty, you train the same strength for every other battle life throws your way. The gym becomes more than a place of lifting, it becomes a school for your character. The severe grind requires you to do more than others are willing to do, and that demands a level of discipline most people never reach. It is not about being extreme, it is about being consistent when others give up, about being structured when others are careless, and about being committed when others drift away. The discipline you build in these moments makes you unbreakable, no matter the challenge. Day after day, discipline molds you into someone who cannot be moved by weakness, doubt, or distraction. It builds a standard inside you that demands effort even when comfort calls. That is the true essence of discipline. It creates a version of you that acts on principle, not feeling, and that standard becomes the engine that drives every victory inside and outside the gym. Strength is not built in comfort, but in resistance, in the times when your muscles are screaming for rest, yet your willpower forces you to take another rep. Every drop of sweat is proof that you are building more than a body. You are constructing a mind that refuses to quit. Strength comes from those hours when nobody is watching, when there is no applause, when it is only you versus the weight that dares to challenge you. That inner force, the ability to keep pushing when everything inside tells you to stop, is where true strength is forged. When you walk into the gym, every piece of equipment becomes a test of your resolve. The barbell doesn't care how tired you are. The dumbbell doesn't care about your excuses. and the treadmill doesn't listen to your complaints. Strength is developed when you silence every excuse, step forward, and prove to yourself that you are stronger than the resistance in front of you. With each set, each rep, each bead of sweat, you rewrite the story of who you are becoming. The truth about strength is that it cannot be borrowed, it cannot be handed to you, and it cannot be faked. Strength is earned in pain, in effort, in discipline, and in patience. Every lift is a declaration that you refuse to remain the same. Each struggle against the iron is a reminder that progress is not free. It comes with effort, consistency, and sacrifice. Strength is a responsibility you carry with you every single time you walk into the gym. When the weight feels unbearable, that is the moment when strength is being tested the most. It is easy to move forward when the path is smooth, but real strength is developed when everything feels heavy. The resistance of the bar is not there to break you, it is there to make you. Every ounce of resistance you face in training is shaping you into a stronger version of yourself, one rep at a time. Strength is also in the discipline to show up when you don't feel like it, to rise early, to lace up your shoes, to walk through the doors of the gym even when motivation is absent. That is strength in its purest form. It is the commitment to your vision, the refusal to give up on yourself, the decision to grind even when no one else understands why. True strength is not just in the body but in the heart. It is in the determination that says, "I will not stop here." It is in the resilience that refuses to let setbacks define the journey. When you fall, strength helps you stand back up. When you stumble, strength pushes you forward. When you doubt yourself, strength reminds you of how far you've already come. Every time you lift a weight heavier than before, you prove to yourself that yesterday's limits no longer define you. Strength is not static. It grows as you grow. It adapts as you adapt. Each challenge you conquer in the gym prepares you for challenges outside the gym. Strength built in training echoes into every part of your life, giving you courage, focus, and perseverance. Strength is not built overnight. It is layered through months and years of effort. Every repetition adds a brick to the foundation. Every workout becomes a chapter in your story of becoming unbreakable. And though others may only see the physical changes, the real transformation is happening within, where your discipline, patience, and character are being strengthened with every effort you put forth. The iron doesn't lie, it doesn't flatter, and it doesn't cheat. It gives back only what you put into it. That's why strength feels so rewarding, because you know it is honest. Nobody can take it from you, and nobody can fake it for you. Strength belongs to the ones who grind, who push, who endure, and who refuse to quit when things get tough. Strength, then, is not just a measure of physical power, but a reflection of your spirit. It is a declaration that no matter what comes against you, you will rise above it. In every drop of sweat, every aching muscle, and every challenge overcome, you are proving that your strength is unshakable, forged in struggle, and built to endure. Progress in the gym is never about speed, but about consistency, about the daily commitment to show up and put in the work. It is easy to want quick results, to dream of instant transformation. But the truth is that progress rewards those who grind day after day, refusing to break the chain of effort. Each session is a step forward, even when the mirror does not yet show it, even when the scale refuses to move. Progress is invisible before it becomes undeniable, and only those with patience will see it come to life. Every repetition you perform adds to the momentum of your progress. The small lifts, the controlled movements, the extra push at the end of a set. These are not wasted moments. They are the building blocks of change, Just as drops of water carve valleys into stone, your small but consistent efforts carve strength and endurance into your body and mind. You may not notice the change after one day or even one week, but the body always keeps a record of the work you invest. The beauty of progress is that it teaches you discipline in silence. It forces you to trust the process when there are no instant rewards, no immediate applause, and no sudden transformation. You learn to keep going without visible results, and in that, you develop resilience that goes beyond fitness. It becomes part of who you are, someone who does not give up just because results are slow, someone who values the journey as much as the destination. In the early stages, progress feels slow, almost non-existent. But that is where most people quit, unable to see the future reward of their present effort. Those who continue, those who keep showing up despite the lack of obvious change, are the ones who unlock the real transformation. It is not about how fast you get there. It is about staying on the path long enough to see the fruits of your labor. Progress is also about understanding that setbacks are part of the process. You may miss a workout, struggle with a lift, or face days where energy feels low. But true progress does not vanish with a single setback. It is built on persistence, on returning to the grind even after falling short. Progress is not perfection. It is persistence through imperfection, continuing to push when the road feels rough. Every time you choose to walk into the gym, even on days when motivation is absent, you are moving forward. Progress is not measured only by physical changes, but by the discipline of choosing effort over comfort. It is in the decision to fight against laziness, to rise when you feel like staying down, and to do what is necessary even when no one else is holding you accountable. Progress comes to those who respect time, who understand that greatness is built layer by layer. Just as a strong building requires a solid foundation, your fitness requires consistent, repeated effort that strengthens your base. You do not rush the process. You embrace it, knowing that each day adds strength, endurance, and character to your being. Progress also humbles you. It reminds you that nothing valuable comes without sacrifice. The soreness, the sweat, the hours spent grinding while others choose comfort, these are the prices you pay for progress. And while the path may not always feel rewarding in the moment, every sacrifice you make is an investment in a stronger version of yourself. The truth about progress is that it belongs only to those who refuse to stop. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail often lies not in talent, but in patience. The ones who can endure the wait, who can trust the unseen effort, and who can continue showing up long after the excitement fades, are the ones who eventually claim the reward. In the end, progress is a mirror of your persistence. It shows up slowly, sometimes quietly, and then all at once. It becomes undeniable. The weight that once felt impossible becomes part of your warm-up. The body that once struggled to move becomes powerful and agile. Progress is the reward of those who keep walking, keep lifting, keep grinding, never for speed, but always for consistency. Every rep you perform is like a small deposit into your account of progress. And though a single rep may feel insignificant when repeated over time, it compounds into visible strength and endurance that others cannot deny. Consistency is what transforms effort into results. It is the bridge that takes you from your current state to the vision you carry of yourself in the future, and without it, even the best intentions will fade away. The body is designed to respond to patterns, and when you show up day after day, whether in peak energy or in tired moments, your body recognizes that pattern and begins to adapt, grow, and harden. itself into a stronger version. There will be moments when you feel like skipping, when the weight feels heavier than your mind can handle. But it is in those exact moments where consistency proves its value, because pushing through on those days sets the foundation for the discipline that separates those who only dream from those who achieve. Each workout is a step forward, each drop of sweat is a reminder that progress is being written into your very being, and though the results may not always be immediately visible, the unseen changes are taking root. Think about how water cuts through rock, not by force in a single moment, but by persistent repetition over time, and in the same way, every training session chips away at weakness and shapes you into resilience. The greatest mistake many make is believing that missing one day is harmless, but those small compromises add up, just as consistency adds up, and eventually the side you nurture most becomes your reality. The iron teaches a lesson that life echoes. Consistency is more powerful than bursts of intensity that quickly burn out, because steady effort carries you further than short-lived motivation. You may not always feel the fire, but when you establish consistency as a habit, it no longer depends on emotion or mood. It becomes part of who you are. When you show up consistently, your body begins to align with your willpower, your muscles start responding more efficiently, your endurance builds quietly, and suddenly the things that once drained you feel lighter. This change does not come from a single heroic session, but from the daily commitment of showing up, pressing forward, and refusing to break the pattern you have set. Consistency also builds trust within yourself, because every time you follow through with your plan, you reinforce belief in your own word, and that self-trust is one of the strongest fuels you can carry. Without consistency, doubt creeps in, because promises are broken and discipline is questioned. But when consistency is kept, confidence grows naturally without effort. Even on days when progress feels stagnant, consistency ensures you are still laying bricks in the wall of strength, and though one brick may not change the structure, over time the wall becomes unshakable. It is the invisible work, the unnoticed sessions, the quiet mornings and late nights of training that build a foundation so solid it cannot be shaken. Consistency also protects you from the trap of comparison, because instead of looking at others and their results, you are too focused on keeping your own rhythm, and in time your lane becomes filled with progress that is undeniable. Your journey remains yours, shaped not by one massive leap, but by thousands of consistent steps. When the grind feels endless and the results seem slow, it is consistency that whispers the truth, that everything is adding up, nothing is wasted, and the work you put in today will serve you in ways you may not yet see. The barbell does not lie, the mirror does not lie, and with consistency, both will eventually reveal what you have earned. In the end, consistency is the invisible power that drives transformation, the silent force that separates failure from success, and though it demands patience, it guarantees change. Each day you show up and do the work, you carve yourself deeper into the person you are meant to be, and that identity is built brick by brick through consistent action. Sacrifice is the price that separates those who dabble from those who dominate, and in the gym it shows up in the choices you make daily. Whether it's waking up early when the bed feels comfortable, refusing junk food when cravings scream louder than reason, or pushing yourself through extra sets when your body pleads for rest. Every sacrifice chips away at comfort, and in return it builds a layer of strength that no shortcut can ever give. It is through sacrifice that progress demands respect, because results only come to those willing to give up what is easy for what is necessary. There are people who talk about wanting results, but when it comes time to sacrifice, they hesitate, and in that hesitation, their goals drift further away. Sacrifice requires you to give up the old version of yourself, the one that chose laziness, excuses, and comfort, and step into a version that demands discipline, hunger, and drive. Each time you choose sacrifice, you're telling yourself that the vision you carry of your future is worth more than the temptation in front of you now. The greatest athletes, the strongest physiques, the most powerful transformations, none of them were built on convenience. They were built on sacrifice. Sacrifice of time, of energy, of sleep, of indulgence. It is the hidden ingredient that most people ignore because it doesn't look glamorous and it doesn't feel good in the moment, but over time it pays out rewards greater than anything else. Every sacrifice is like an investment into the body you are building and the life you are shaping. In the gym, sacrifice shows when you're tired but you still finish your sets, when your muscles burn but you still go for one more rep, when your lungs feel empty, but you still push for that last sprint. These are moments when you trade comfort for progress, and though the trade feels painful, it is always worth it. The people who stop when it hurts miss the treasure that lies just beyond the pain, because sacrifice demands you walk through discomfort to reach growth. Sacrifice also means choosing discipline outside the gym, where the real battles are often fought. It's in the kitchen when you measure your meals instead of giving in to cravings. It's in your schedule when you cut back on entertainment to make room for sleep and recovery. It's in your mindset when you refuse to give up your consistency even when nobody else is watching. Every sacrifice is a statement that you are serious about what you want. Many people think sacrifice is loss, but in truth, sacrifice is exchange. You are not losing sleep, comfort, or ease. You are trading them for strength, resilience, and power. Sacrifice transforms the temporary into the eternal, turning fleeting pleasures into long, lasting results. Every rep, every disciplined meal, every early morning wake-up call is a sacrifice that multiplies into something bigger than itself. Sacrifice is what builds mental toughness just as much as it builds physical strength. When you deny yourself the easy road and choose the harder path, you train your mind to endure, to adapt, to push past limits. That mental toughness becomes armor you carry not just in the gym but in every area of life. Because the same sacrifice that makes you strong under the barbell makes you unbreakable in challenges. Outside of it, the truth is, sacrifice is the currency of greatness. If you want the kind of body others admire, the kind of strength others respect, the kind of confidence that radiates without words, you must be willing to pay for it with sacrifice. Those who want the reward without the sacrifice end up stuck in mediocrity, because progress does not come to those unwilling to give something up. Every sacrifice you make is a test of how much you truly want the goal. Anyone can say they want to be stronger, leaner, or fitter, but when the moment comes to sacrifice, only the committed prove their words. Sacrifice is not just about physical effort. It's about alignment, aligning your actions with your vision, proving through choices that your dream is not just talk, but a mission you live every day. Sacrifice is the hidden language of the gym, the unspoken rule that every rep, every set, every drop of sweat must be purchased through giving up something else. And while others may complain about what they lose, you will know that each sacrifice builds you, hardens you, sharpens you into someone capable of carrying the results that others only wish for. Consistency is the invisible force that separates those who dream from those who achieve, because it is not the intensity of one workout that changes you, but the repetition of effort over time. A single day of discipline might make you feel proud, but it is the hundreds of days stacked together that carve strength into your body and resilience into your character. Consistency means showing up no matter how you feel, no matter how busy you are, no matter what obstacles stand in your way, because progress respects only those who keep moving forward without pause. It is easy to get excited at the start of a journey, to train hard for a few days or weeks, but when motivation fades and life becomes heavy, that is when consistency either keeps you alive or exposes your weakness. Consistency does not ask you to be perfect, but it demands that you refuse to quit. Even on the hardest days, showing up, doing something, and refusing to let the habit die is what keeps the fire burning. Ask yourself, a single brick does not make a wall, but when you place them every day with care and commitment, one morning you look up and realize you have built a fortress of strength. Every workout, every meal, every discipline choice is a brick, and the stronger your consistency, the stronger the fortress you build around your goals. Without consistency, talent fades, strength withers, and potential dies. But with consistency, even an ordinary person can create extraordinary results, because the small efforts compounded over time create power that no shortcut can match. Consistency builds trust between your mind and your body. It teaches your body to expect discipline, and it teaches your mind that you can depend on yourself. Consistency also protects you from the danger of excuses. When consistency becomes your standard, excuses lose their power because your body and mind become trained to act regardless of circumstances. The weather may change, your mood may shift, challenges may come, but consistency creates an anchor that keeps you steady through it all. It turns training into a non-negotiable, just like eating or sleeping. It becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. The beauty of consistency is that it builds momentum. Each day you show up makes it easier to show up again tomorrow. And as the days turn into weeks and the weeks into months, the effort begins to feel natural. What once felt heavy becomes light, and what once felt impossible becomes routine. Consistency transforms hard work into habit, and habits are what shape destiny. Even the greatest lifters, athletes, and fighters are not defined by rare moments of brilliance, but by relentless consistency. They did not get strong by training only when they felt like it. They became legends by training when it was boring, painful, and inconvenient. That is the true test of greatness, not shining for a moment but enduring for a lifetime. Consistency also builds confidence. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you can trust your own word, that you are someone who does not back down. That self-trust becomes power because when you know you can depend on yourself to show up, nothing outside of you can shake your foundation. There is no progress without consistency, no transformation without repetition, no strength without discipline over time. Even if your workouts are not perfect, even if your meals are not flawless, it is the act of staying on the path every day that creates change. Consistency turns flaws into progress, because what matters is not perfection but persistence. Consistency is not about doing something once in a while with passion. It is about doing it every single day with discipline. That steady rhythm, that unwavering commitment, that refusal to let go, is what creates results so powerful that others will wonder how you achieved them, never realizing that the secret was simply showing up again and again long after most people quit. Willpower is the fuel that keeps you alive when strength fades, because there will come a moment in training when your muscles scream, your body shakes, and everything inside you tells you to stop. At that moment, willpower steps in like a commander and says, keep going. It is not your arms, your chest, or your legs that carry the weight anymore. It is your will. That inner voice that refuses to let you drop the bar, refuses to let you quit the set, refuses to let you break under pressure, that is the real strength that separates you from the crowd. Willpower is not built in comfort, it is forged in struggle. It is built every time you complete the last rep when your mind begged you to stop at the second to last. It is built when you drag yourself to the gym after a long, exhausting day instead of giving in to rest. It is built when you rise early in the morning to train, sacrificing ease for progress. Every sacrifice you make strengthens your will, and every time you push through pain, you sharpen the weapon that is your willpower. Willpower is not about talent, it is not about luck, it is about deciding that nothing will break you. You may not have the best genetics, you may not have the perfect environment, you may not even have all the resources others have, but if your willpower is unshakable, you will outlast and outperform those who rely only on talent or convenience. In the gym and in life, willpower becomes the equalizer. It gives strength to the one who refuses to bow down. There are moments when the weight feels heavier than your spirit, when the repetition feels endless, and when your progress feels invisible. In those moments, many people quit, but willpower refuses to bow. Willpower whispers to you that the pain is temporary, that the burn is the sign of growth, that the struggle is the sign of transformation. Willpower does not let you see the discomfort as punishment. It teaches you to see it as proof that you are alive, proof that you are moving forward. Willpower teaches patience. Results do not come in a day or a week, but the will to keep going every day, every week, every month builds the body and the mind. It allows you to stay on the path even when progress is invisible, because you trust that consistency and perseverance will eventually bear fruit. Without willpower, impatience will destroy your journey, but with willpower, patience becomes your ally. Willpower is like a flame inside your chest, sometimes small, sometimes roaring, but always alive if you choose to feed it. Every choice you make feeds or weakens it. Every time you take the easier path, the flame dims. Every time you take the harder path, the flame grows brighter. Over time, that flame becomes a fire so strong that nothing outside of you can extinguish it. That is the fire that burns in champions, in those who cannot be broken. Willpower is not loud, it is not always seen by others, but it is always felt inside you. It is the force that drags you forward when your legs want to stop, the grip that refuses to let go of the bar, the heartbeat that pushes you into the next rep. Others may look at you and think you are strong, but what they cannot see is the invisible strength inside, the willpower that keeps you alive in moments when most people would collapse. When fatigue builds up and your body feels heavy, willpower is what tells you that fatigue is not the end, it is just the beginning. Fatigue means you are pushing the limits, and willpower means you refuse to accept those limits as final. Fatigue is the border between ordinary and extraordinary, and willpower is the passport that lets you cross it. Willpower teaches you discipline not just in the gym, but in every part of life. The same will that keeps you on track with your training teaches you to control your habits, your words, and your actions. It creates strength not just in your muscles, but in your character. That inner strength makes you steady, focused, and unshakable no matter where you go or what challenge stands before you. Willpower makes pain your servant instead of your enemy. It teaches you to harness discomfort and use it as fuel for progress. When the body says no, willpower says yes. When the world says stop, willpower says go. It transforms struggle into strength, resistance into growth, and setbacks into the fuel for comebacks. It is the silent force that drives every rep, every step, every lift, every sacrifice.